What's going on, guys? It's TS Inc. and I'm going to be bringing you another Adobe After Effects tutorial. This one might be a little bit longer, but that's okay because I got to make up for the fact that I did not do one last Tuesday. I'm trying to upload a tutorial every Tuesday. I kind of want to do a few more things with my channel, just like make it really eclectic, like maybe do like a Music Monday thing where I just give you like maybe 3 or 4 bands to go listen to from all different genres. Things like that. I want to put up more commentaries. It's just I don't really get that many gameplays because, when I do get high kills, I also get high deaths just because I'm always tag inserting outside of their spawns and stupid shit like that. And also people like to camp my tag inserts and predator missiles just come right at my fucking face, even though I use blind eye. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to be learning kinetic typography. This is something that you see in Call of Duty edits, but you can also use completely outside of Call of Duty and is primarily used outside of Call of Duty anyway. So this is a lyric video I'm working on for my band, and basically it's just, instead of just having the lyrics on the screen while the song plays, all the lyrics are on the screen but it's animated, and so you can see it kind of moves. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like. Alright, so that's what I got. I got a little bit more back here. I'm not going to get into all that. It's actually less complicated, but, I just don't have time to show you. This part's kind of cool, actually. Boom. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're going to be learning. It's called kinetic typography. I'm not going to get into the typography part of it. I will just get into the kinetic part of it, because the typography part of it is the part that you either have to kind of either just know, or you have to like learn it from an art school. And because they offer like full courses on typography. Typography is actually a pretty big thing in the graphic design world. And if there's any graphic designers out here who know what I'm talking about, you can see that I didn't like really properly do this, the kerning. Like I didn't kern any of this at all. And what kerning is the spaces in between the letters. You're supposed to go in and move these individually. Like you can see the space between the N and the D is much bigger than the space between the I and the M, so I would have to bring that in. And I would have to do that with like pretty much every single one. But I didn't feel like getting into that just because I got a shit ton of work. I got like 200 words in the song. No, less than that. I got maybe like 125. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. I already got my song imported, and you can double tap L to bring up your waveform and listen to the song and find the words. We're just going to be focusing on this very first part of the song. Alright, so the words right there are only 6 years old. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and add a background. I just tried to do this same exact tutorial and it was like 40 minutes long. Not shape layer, I'm sorry. So I'm going to try and do this a little bit quicker. So let's go ahead and add a new solid, whatever color you want, and we're going to add ramp. And to get the same look I have, this is a pretty well-known, pretty common used style on this one. Just a real soft vignette and everything. The gray and the white and everything isn't solid white or solid black. It's pretty generic and used quite often in these type of deals. But let's go ahead and make this radial. Bring this one to the middle. And this one either right to this corner or a little bit further past. Now we're going to take the start color, go just a little bit off-white, and the end color, maybe somewhere right around here. And that's what we get. And you want to have your title action safe grid thing on, just because you want to be able to see where the text goes. Basically what this means is the text that you're focusing on needs to remain in this box, just because this is where the focus is going to be. The main focus is going to be in this smaller box. It can go out in this outer box a little bit, but it'd be better if it didn't. But because it's animated, of course, it's going to be going in and out of the entire screen, but the text that's in focus at the point in time needs to remain in the smaller box. So we got our background, we got our points matched up to sync them. So let's go ahead and start adding some words. We're going to go ahead and put these all in 3D space as we go. So let's go ahead and hit only and make it 3D. Go ahead and turn the motion blur on also. Select this, and the font I'm using is Futura or Futura, however the fuck you say it. I'm just using the condensed medium. So let's go ahead and put this right in the middle, and we absolutely have to change the anchor point or else it just won't track correctly. The camera won't snap to the word, it'll snap to the bottom of the word. We don't want that. So let's put only, let's slide it over here for right now. Let's go ahead and duplicate it and type the word 6. Slide that up so we can see it. Let's change this to a dark red color. And change this. The other font I'm using in the other composition is Trojan or Trajan Pro, however the fuck. So let's go ahead and we'll just put these in here randomly. Duplicate only again. Put it above 6 and write years. And then duplicate, slide down, write old. And this one we can go, maybe we can go with the bold one of this. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get these in 3D space. All the layers are already 3D. So what we need to do now is go layer, new, camera. And just any camera, doesn't matter because we are going to end up deleting it. You'll see why. So now we can rotate this around, see what we got in 3D space. So let's go ahead and get kind of funky with this. So let's slide only back, rotate this around. You can just hit C on your keyboard and then V to go back to this. So let's go ahead and let's make a stair set. Yeah, fucking stairs and shit. So let me actually bring this one back for this way. Slide that here, and we're gonna rotate it on the, should be the x-axis, yeah. So -90, and slide it back. Go ahead and hit C, rotate it around, and V again. And just keep doing that until you line it up how you want it. Looks like it's overlapping that way a little bit, so just touch that way. Alright, so let's go ahead and get years, bring it up, over, oops, alright, that is too far up. So it's pretty much, just trial and error. I'm going to just try and get this a little more rough. And you probably should go in and rescale all of these so that, they're all lined up with the sides of each other to make it look a little better. But I'm not going to do that just because I don't want to. And then just to add some intrigue to the camera angles and what it's doing, and it's just not so, repetitious, whatever the fuck that word is. We're going to rotate this one -90 on the y-axis. And now let's line it up with years on this side. Alright, so that looks pretty interesting. So we can go ahead and delete this camera, and what we're going to do is, here, let's just go ahead and, for the the sake of our sanity, slide it this way because I can. And so go to Layer, New, Null Object, and then we're going to add SureTarget. You can get this from Video Copilot. It's free. Go to videocopilot.com, type in SureTarget, and you'll be able to find it. And it's really easy to use, pretty straightforward. So what we're going to do is go to Target Layers, and we're just going to set the targets that we need. The first target is going to be only second 6 years old, etc. So we got 6, or I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Only 6 years old. Alright, I'm going to have it on auto rotate. And let's go ahead and turn the wiggle on. I'll put the wiggle speed at 2 and the wiggle amount maybe 20. Turn the inertia on. This just will add a little bit of a bounce as it goes in between them. Just make it look a little bit smoother. And let's turn the autofocus on for the depth of field and the focus targets. And turn this up to, let's go 200, because we're balls. Alright, so now to animate it, we just add keyframes, add the targets. So add 1, go to 2, and add 2. Go to 3, and add 3. Go to 4, and add 4. Wait, that's not right. I don't know why that happened. Anyway, there we go. Alright, and then, so let's just, because, you know, I'm not sliding in between. I'm not like, oh, this. So I say 6 right on the 2. So that's where we want it to snap, pretty much. So let's just go back a few frames and put this right back down to 1. So that way it'll stay here and then just go whack, like that. And then right here we can put this right back at 2. And then right here we can put this right back at 3. Turn the motion blur on for all the text layers. Make sure the motion blur is on for the composition, or is enabled for the composition, just to make it look a little smoother. It's just going between everything. So I'm going to go ahead and RAM preview this. It's taking kind of a long time, probably because I am recording my screen. But it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting effect. You don't want to change the blending modes of the text unless you absolutely have to. Because I personally like to pre-compose everything once that section, that stanza, verse, whatever the fuck is done. But that's just me, and I like to keep the background by itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got with this. It looks pretty interesting. Alright, you can see the inertia kind of bouncing it. Looks pretty good. And then you can see the camera wiggling just a little bit. So it looks pretty dope, I'd say. If you want to, you can obviously, like, let's say, okay, well, I see old is right in the middle, but I don't like how everything over here is off to the left. What you can do with that is come over to your old layer and hit the pan behind tool. And what we're going to do is just take this anchor point and we're going to slide it over. And maybe down a little bit so it's kind of over here, but we get all of this, back in the middle a little bit. And another thing we can do is use the dolly. So what we're going to do with the dolly, let's open this back up, is, I don't like how this is just here, already. So what we're going to do is go a few frames back, and I don't know why, but it like flashes my screen when I have SureTarget on. Anyway, so let's go ahead and drop down dolly, enable dolly, and set a keyframe for the dolly on target 1. Drop down U, slide it over, and we are just going to crank this back pretty far. And then now what we can do is come over to only, hit T, slide it over, and bring that to 0. And then we get whack, only pops up. and we're actually going to get rid of, not get rid of, but we're going to animate these in also. So only, well, it's not really going to be animated in, but just as it rotates, the opacity is going to come up. So right here, T, you can hit U on this so you can match the keyframes up. I like to have it at 100%, like right before it's all the way there. So bring the 100 right here, and right there, drop it at 0. Trim that layer, and just repeat this process for the rest of these. So T, and then T, so that way it's just keeps it a little less cluttered. And so let's see what we got. This frame preview is taking absolutely too long. I actually do have Adobe After Effects CS6, and I don't fucking like it. Maybe it's just because, you know, this computer only has 4 gigs of RAM, but CS6 runs slow as shit. You know, I have the preferences exactly the same on that as I do in CS5, and it just runs so much slower. Even just adding effects on it, it's so much slower. And it's the most frustrating thing in the entire world. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. I'm pretty happy with that. We animated it in 3D space, got the depth of field on there, and yeah, that looks pretty good. A lot of times you'll see people will have, like, you know, hundreds of words just randomly in the background, and they will snap to only the words they need. And you know, the way you would do that would just be you wouldn't probably duplicate these layers, but you know, you would just have random ass text, and then you would change the Z space, maybe bring it way close to the camera, and then let's duplicate that, slide it this way, and go way back, way back, way back, and slide it down here, and let's rotate this. Yeah. So that way, you know, it's just kind of always there, I guess. You know, these would obviously have to always be there for that to make sense. Wow. Okay, opacity. That makes sense now. See, now I go back to only, and you kind of see it in the background there. But you would just do that with a shit ton of text layers, pretty much. And they'll always be there. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully this one didn't take 40 minutes. This one took 18 minutes. I think that's a pretty decent amount of time. It's a kind of advanced tutorial, but it's not too advanced. Like, pretty much anybody can do this, but at the same time, it's not like a really simple effect. So yeah, I think it kind of makes up for my lack of tutorials last week, or at least I hope it does. I like to see these kind of things outside of Call of Duty, to be honest with you. It's kind of played out in Call of Duty, or not really so much anymore. Maybe like 6 months ago it was. Anyway, it's been TS Hank. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/HinkerPS3 at HinkerPS3. Whatever the fuck you want to do. Follow my band on Twitter. I believe it's just twitter.com/LegacyUnwritten. Or, excuse me, about to start posting on there. Follow my band on Facebook, facebook.com/LegacyUnwritten. Download our album from LegacyUnwritten.com. I also have a MediaFire link from our Facebook page. And yeah, if you live anywhere in Georgia and you listen to King Conquer, we are playing a house show with them on June 13th. And I don't actually have all the details on that yet. But if you like us on Facebook we will have the details for you there as soon as possible. It's going to be closer to the Atlanta area, probably west, the West Metro Atlanta area, just because that's where we're from, and it's a house show, and that's where the People's House is, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. But if you're interested in that, leave a comment and say, yo, dog, I'm going to be there, homie. Actually, yeah, say it exactly like that. Don't, like, I have to be able to hear your tone of voice in the comment. Anyway, it's TS Hank. I will catch you guys later.